Moving forward, let us talk about other related activities. Uh, Focus on management of chronic illness. Let's talk about interprofessional collaboration and continuity of care. Coordinated care among multidisciplinary team is central to chronic illness management. We act as key communicator and advocate who ensure continuity across care settings such as hospital, outpatient, and community. Okay. There is a need for us nurses to facilitate transitions, optimize treatment adherence, and coordinate supportive services to maintain health and prevent rehospitalization. Evidence-based nursing interventions for chronic disease prevention stresses the importance of grounding nursing interventions in current scientific evidences. We apply best practices for screening and managing risk factors such as control of blood pressure or yung control of cholesterol or even control of blood sugar. Regular evaluation of research findings will enable us to implement effective preventive measures and adapt care plans to emerging standards. Risk factor identification and management is the systematic assessment of risk factors, including modifiable ones like obesity, smoking, and inactivity. This guides targeted preventive efforts. Okay. Comprehensive risk stratification using clinical data and patient history to perform personalized intervention is also as important. This enables preemptive actions which delay or reduce disease complications. Lastly, psychosocial health promotion and stress management in chronic illness often lead to psychological distress. So we support patients through screening for anxiety and depression, providing counseling referrals, facilitating support groups, and teaching relaxation techniques such as deep breathing or yung ating guided imagery. These psychosocial interventions promote coping, resilience, and overall health. Okay. Now, in the management of chronic illness, there are some nursing care models that we use for chronic illness. Okay. This nursing care models for chronic illness is aligned with nursing theories like Orem self-care deficit and Roy's adaptation models, which focus on enhancing patient self-care and adaptation to illness. So we assess deficits and facilitate skill development, encouraging patients to achieve maximum independence despite chronic limitations. These models or model-based approach supports comprehensive continuous care. Okay, let's first start with the Dorothea Orem self-care deficit theory. It is a grand nursing theory that focuses on the individual's ability to perform self-care activities that is necessary to maintain life, health, and well-being. The theory is centered on the idea that nursing is required when a person is unable to meet their own self-care needs due to limitations caused by illness, injury, or developmental issues. This inability to meet self-care or this inability to meet self-care demands is called the self-care deficit. Okay. What is the meaning of self-care deficit? Self-care deficit occurs when a person cannot independently perform activities that is necessary to maintain health and functions. These activities may include basic tasks like yung paliligo, pagbibihes, or yung pagkain, and medication management, as well as complex functions like monitoring symptoms and seeking healthcare. When a self-care deficit exists, nursing care is necessary to assist the individual in meeting these needs until they can regain sufficient abilities. The core concepts of Orem's theory is self-care, which is the practice of activities that individuals initiate and perform on their own behalf to maintain health and well-being. Self-care requisites are requirements or needs that stimulate self-care actions. These include universal needs like air, water, and food. Developmental needs, those are related to growth, and health deviation needs, those that are related to illness. Nursing systems are the supportive framework where we, nurses, provide care based on patients' self-care deficits. It ranges from fully compensatory care to supportive, educative care depending on the patient's ability. Our nursing role based on Orem's theory is first, assess the patient's self-care abilities and identify deficits. Second, design and implement care plans to support, educate, or compensate for self-care. Third, empower and educate patients to regain or improve self-care capabilities. Orem's theory emphasizes patients' empowerment, independence, and our role as a facilitator of self-care, making it a foundational framework in nursing practice and education. The next theory is Roy's adaptation model, which is a nursing theory developed by Sister Calixta Roy, which views individuals as biopsychosocial beings constantly interacting with a changing environment. The core concept of the model is adaptation, which is the process and outcome through which people use conscious awareness and choices to respond positively to environmental changes and maintain integrity. The meaning of Roy's adaptation model is focused on adaptation, which means how a person adjusts to internal and external stimuli to maintain health and well-being. The individual is seen as an adaptive system who copes with physiological, psychological, and social challenges by using innate and acquired coping mechanisms. Health is regarded as a continuum of being and becoming an integrated and whole person through successful adaptation. Our nursing role is to promote or facilitate this adaptation by assessing behaviors and factors which influence adaptation, identifying ineffective responses, and intervening to support better coping. What are the four adaptive modes in the model? First is the physiological mode. This talks about physical and biological functions including basic needs and bodily system. Self-concept mode are the psychological and spiritual aspects including beliefs, feelings, and self-identity. Role function mode is the social role and expectations a person fulfills in society. Interdependence mode is the relationships and support systems that affect emotional and social well-being. Nursing process according to Roy's model starts with assessment of behavior, which is the observation of patient responses in the four adaptive modes. Assessment of stimuli is the identification of focal or immediate, contextual or contributing, and residual or background stimuli which influence behaviors. Nursing diagnosis is focused on identification of maladaptive behaviors and their causes. Goal setting is focused on collaborative setting of realistic goals for improved adaptation. Interventions is towards modifying stimuli and supporting adaptive behaviors. Evaluation is focused on assessing the effectiveness of interventions and patient progress. The model guides us to support adaptive responses, improved quality of life, and help patients navigate health challenges with dignity and resilience. It emphasizes holistic care that integrates biological, psychological, and social dimensions in nursing practice. Okay. Quality of life and palliative care considerations should be present even as preventive care continues. Okay. We need to acknowledge the importance of integrating palliative perspective early in chronic illness trajectories, maintaining dignity, managing pain and symptoms, and supporting psychosocial needs contribute to enhanced quality of life. Okay. Now, the conceptual framework used in our discussion or in the management or in the activities in the management of chronic illness is based on the wellness-illness continuum. This guides us to promote health even in the presence of illness. Nursing diagnosis is focused on maintaining function and preventing secondary complications. Interventions are planned according to patient tolerance and goals, ensuring patient-centered care. What will be our expected outcomes? There should be improved quality of life despite presence of chronic illness, reduced hospital readmissions, enhanced self-care abilities, prevention or delay of complications, and greater patient satisfaction and psychosocial well-being despite presence of chronic illness. Okay, so that concludes our discussion under the activities in the management of chronic illness. Again, thank you very much for listening.